So this one particular time, it was early 60s. Again, this was like, a big time for me, a big point in my life. I went down there and we had an emergency to do on Saturday. Well, we did the job, but the next day that night we got a call that it was acting up again. And so we had to go back down there Sunday morning. Well, Sunday morning on Maxwell Street is the market.
Right.
And I had heard stories about the market. I heard stories about you can't even move down the street on Sunday. You can't, you won't be able to drive down here, and this, that, and the next thing. So we actually did drive down there, and we kind of went around the alley and parked in the alley, blocked it, and did what we had to do. And the guy was he wanted to get a sandwich. There was this one cold cut deli. They used to sell these huge corned beef sandwiches. They were like stacked up to they used to call those Dagwood sandwiches like that, right? So now the young kids don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
They're gonna say, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Anyway, so I wasn't hungry. So I said, okay, well, if you're going there, I'll take a walk down the street. And as I took a walk down the street, I started hearing a band play. And I turned the corner, and in the mouth of the alley, not the same one we were parked in, a block or two down, was a three-piece band. Big John Wrencher and Playboy Vincent on the drums, and I can't remember the guitar player's name. I wish I could have. But they were playing, and I was just like spellbound. Just like, I'd never seen anybody play. I never seen anybody play one of these.
Really?
All I ever seen anybody try to play was one of these. And this is what I was trying to play. But when I seen him play this little harmonica, first of all, you need to know that John Wrencher was a one-armed guy. He had an accident, automobile accident or something, and they actually cut off one of his limbs. It was probably like this, And so he played harmonica, holding the microphone in one hand and playing the harmonica and singing through the same mic. They had one amplifier, which was a Fender Brown Concert, which I had to buy one of those amplifiers, so I bought one. Anyway, so the guitar player and him were plugged into the same amplifier, and they had a drum kit that was what you would call an old beat-up drum kit. And for Tom, I don't know, the Wisconsin Dells, you're from around the Midwest, so you know what that is, right?
Right.
Well, if you remember back in the 60s, they used to have a lot of Indian relics and fun things for kids to buy, at the Wisconsin Dells. They used to have those toms, the little rubber skin tom. The drummer had two of those for his son. Playboy Vincent, what up? That was wild. And so they started playing, and I was like knocked out. I mean, when the guy starts going I'm like, I couldn't do that on that. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that on the chromatic. It's bending notes. And the chromatic, the notes don't bend like that. So I was like spellbound. So that's how I really got into the harmonica. It knocked me off the drums, though. After I seen that, I was like, yeah, I'll play the drums some. I'll play like that, So, I tried and tried and tried. And eventually I seen guys coming up around Chicago, I actually seen Charlie Musselwhite once at the Pickle Barrel, which was also on a Sunday. My aunt used to take us down to, it was before it was called Old Town. And that's where all the artists and beatniks, because there was no hippies yet, right? That's where all the artists and beatniks would be. And Musselwhite was playing in the place. Sunday afternoon, like a matinee. You know, and I just got to see a little of that. It's kind of a crazy place. Peanut shells, you eat peanuts and throw the shells on the floor, and that kind of thing. Kind of cool. I used to occasionally stood outside once in a while. If I could get a couple guys to go down there with me, I'd go stand in front of Big John's and listen to Butterfield playing.
Really?
I cut out in 8th grade, I cut out of school to go down and see a blues festival before they really called it festivals. It was for the Circle campus, the Chicago University.
Mm-hmm.
And Magic Sam was on it.
Really?
Which I never heard of Magic Sam before, but I was knocked out. It was amazing. It was interesting because there's a band around they were younger guys at the time. This is kind of after Paul Butterfield became real huge, and most of those guys moved out to LA or New York or wherever they moved. You know, Siegel Schwall was actually the headliner, and they were like at the height of their game. You know, this is like the late '60s. You know, so they were like at the height of their game. And Magic Sam was still alive. I got to see him, so it was a wonderful thing. He never heard anybody play boogies like that guy. He sounded like he had 6 hands. Kind of. So, I was a kid, but even that didn't inspire me because I didn't think I could ever do anything like that.
Really?